Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali. I don't even know if I'll have, background photos or anything for this because it's hmm, just my reflections on the fact that there are brothers, a lot of brothers out here who are embarrassed by Black women's ways. And this is such a gigantic subject matter. I humbly entreat you to watch the whole share. That is enormously helpful for my channel, I've discovered, in terms of skirting some of their algorithms. I think they have their own particular ones devised for the content that I create, my channel, because Fukushima, the radiation, all of that, that is just like heart attack real. And if you follow me on different platforms, such as on Instagram, you know that's what I come here to be about. However, it is one of my conclusions in studying the radiation, because I originally thought, oh, Black people, we are just like, when it comes to being real and authentic, is what I wanted to say, and kind-hearted. You can't get any people more kind-hearted than we are. And so one of the things I expected was that the whole Black world would share the truth about man-made radiation's devastation and the targeted assault, genocidal assault against Black us through the CMOS, the radioactive rice, and now they've added the canned salmon to poor women with children. They're incredible. And the just surge in all of the ridiculous distractions. And I mean, it's like a comic book reality going on out there. I expected that, but then I had to understand that I'm a Black woman. And since there's so many operatives out here, it's easy to make fun of what I have to say. Whereas, a white woman, and people are going to tend to still sort of be a little bit dismissive, but give her more authority automatically in what she does. And our kindness is being used in a way that doesn't benefit us. Brother You Mute Me 2.0 had shared a video clip from this Indian man who thought he was paying us a compliment when he described as a young boy his mother, and he's fully Indian, unlike Kamala, who won't acknowledge that she's fully Indian because she looks just a little drop reminiscent of a Black-like person, which makes her far easier to use and hide in our midst, so she could do hella damage to our reputation by embracing wokery and making it seem like that's the new Black us. But yeah, he's fully Indian. And he said when he was a little boy, his mother would say, if you are ever lost or you're in trouble, go to a Black woman. Go to a Black woman. I'm stifling my wish to just laugh because that's such an insult that I just take it for granted that anybody would be able to take it as such. But this dude meant it as a compliment, that Black women are automatically considered as the maids of the world, the mammies of the world. And we were called mammies because they would just like hand their babies to us on threat of being whipped if you didn't agree to it. But after a couple generations, the women who would have been whipped would have given birth to children that they then whipped to keep them doing exactly what went against every single spirit in their souls that told them, I'm a person, I'm not a cow. And so they would hand the babies to us and we would breastfeed them because they noted that the babies came out healthier because our DNA is going to produce a superior milk. That's simply the science. And so that's where the term mammy came from, mammaries. And that just strategic traumatization. And so that we have become so accommodating, on top of the fact that we're just kind, Black women, Black men, has led us to do what women of the whole planet do. All women bow down, care what race you are. They bow down to the macro society. They bow down. This is, you can see it in the animal kingdom. Not that we should be looking at animals as our example of what to do, but it's simply they're going to be echoes, reverberations of Allah's divine creation. And in the animal kingdom, the bucks will fight and the does will go with the champion buck. And this is the one who can protect me the most. And so we live in a society that has harangued us, hounded us, literally tortured us into just kowtowing to what they say makes you an attractive woman, makes you, like better than the others so that you can possibly entice a potential mate. There's a whole bunch of other complicated things that go with that so that you could get a sane mate, which makes me think that as a Black woman, to get a sane mate, that's only going to be a Black man. But Dr. She, this morning when I told him what my topic would be, he gave me this plaque right here, okay? A nation can rise no higher than its woman. And so as the Caucasians, and Caucasoid is not an insult, it is actually a term that was constructed by white people. They called us Negroid, and that is still considered a scientifically apt term. All right. But I'll use Caucasians. The Caucasians, their historical nature has been to be avaristic, greedy, ridiculously greedy, and brutal, bloodthirsty, where it's just nonstop wars. But they have hypnotized us, beguiled us, traumatized us so much that when they call it World War I, II, and they're, keep pushing everybody towards World War III, we don't think gang violence, right? That's something that we just sequester to us. We're the violent ones who don't deserve sovereignty over our own destiny because we're thoroughly different people than them. We're the violent ones, but they will just like threaten everybody with nuclear bombs on a constant basis if they don't get their way. And they'll stack the deck so that they can look like they're doing the right thing, so much so, and they traumatize whole other population so much that they worship white people and white culture ad nauseum. And so when, the to be embarrassed by the Black woman, sorry, over just weaves, and also behavior, because, and I'm addressing the Black women. There are Black men out here who they have stoked in order so that they could be an embarrassment to Black women. And that dynamic is really integral because this becomes, is it the Black man's fault? Is it the Black woman's fault? It's none of our faults. We are not predator mimics. We are the victims of nonstop propaganda, trauma, just positioning us so that literally they'll drive many of us out of our minds. And then those of us who will congratulate ourselves because we have successfully taken on the attributes applauded by the white controlled macro society, we'll feel constrained. We'll feel the, like wish to get the good opinion of the very people who traumatized us. Yet, if only this, and I'm just going to say the word, this nigger would act better, I wouldn't be so embarrassed. That is so, that's one of the first symptoms. I'm not saying you're going to go into serious Procyon loitering, but it makes you vulnerable, so that then they can infest you with, somehow as an individual, you can escape Blackistan. And I'm not calling us that. That's what they want us to think we are. You can escape that trauma if you just will be more like they approve of. And you don't even realize that there's a reason why they're not afraid of bowed down Negropeans. There's a reason why they can treat them like, oh, you're not like all those others. It's not because the others are stupid. It's because the others are going to have the better chance of seeing the lunacy, the nonsense that these people are doing, and are going to fight back. Because you may have been, I'm not saying you, because everybody, I don't know how many people are going to listen to this, but Negropeans as a demographic, and that's not an insult, but they'll be overcome by the same things that afflict the traumatized non-Black, non-white races of the planet, where you assume that having stuff, having a big fancy house, having a big fancy car is the measure of success, when being able to do this is the measure of success, where we're able to protect our nation and fortify our own narratives. That embarrassment overweaves when there is no faker women on the planet than white women, and those derived not from white women, because everybody comes from us, but the mindset that's derived from white women, where they're so desperate to remain the belle of the ball, they'll just chop up literally. Can you imagine? There's different levels of violence. To volunteer to have your face sutured up, and so that you could look some way that it's just not in your power to look like. And you don't want to even anyone to see your agent. Look at this old neck right here. This thing is trying to find it. So there it is, right there. Oh my goodness. Wow. Right now, this right here, I'm going to age like a Black woman. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, white women, white teenagers out there, I hope they can work it out. Wouldn't that be nice? But I'm not here for them. I'm here for us. Right? They're out there having sweet 16 parties, celebrating that their parents are going to give them a friggin' nose job and cut them up. Cut them up. That's a violence. And they are now like portraying, oh yeah, we're natural and it's the most beautiful. No, who's always been natural? Sisters. I know. I grew up in the hood. I know. I saw us on the constant basis. You would rarely see Black women walking around with any kind of makeup or weaves or any of that sort of stuff. You would see the elder sisters going to church. They'd have their wigs on. Right? Now, through their media, and I had mentioned this before, they have propped things up so that they got the fakery the fake black women with the garden rake eyelashes and just 5 tons of makeup on. And I know there's sisters out there who are concerned because you feel your skin is not, you got just imperfections. It's your food. It's your food that's doing that to you. And I'm a witness because I used to have so many skin issues. And then I met Dr. Shi, and he let me know that, you could heal that. And I didn't even believe him, as you may not be believing me. But you can fix all of those so that this is the way I wake up. I wake up in the morning. I'm not saying I'm not gorgeous like that. No, I'm not, but I look good. I look good. I'm happy with me. Right? You don't have to be, but I know I feel good. And when I wake up in the morning, the same way I look right now is the way I look when I wake up. I don't look blanched out or, all sorts of stuff. I don't get eye boogers or anything of the sort because I don't eat anything that's going to be clogging up my arteries. I scared when I went to the hospital for my broken toe, scared the nurse to death, and she wound up scaring me because my heartbeat pulse rate is 30. And she's, oh my goodness. No, that just means there's no impediments, right? And so with that, there's a flow that allows any waste, any toxins to go where they need to go so that my body can remove them, including anything that will be impacting the cleanliness of my pores, that if it were not flowing out, it would create pimples, and that creates scarring. Right? So you don't need all of that stuff on your face because Allah gave you makeup. He gave you makeup. But I'm not mad at you if you feel somehow too, like there's no other word, weak. If you feel too weak with your own natural features to just screw everybody and take the show on the road. I'm me. And if you like, this is supposed to be the time when everybody is pontificating that I'm my own woman or I'm my own man. I'm powerful, I'm strong. But then you're going to walk out like, no, you're not. Don't. All right. But those of us who have any type of skills, if I'm talking to you, sister, about any kind of fakery and saying, no, there's no way we are out faking the white woman. That's just 100% guaranteed, right? But we who have skills, if it's going to be hard for the sisters who some of them have never even tried to go natural, don't even know with their own natural hair can do incredible things. Simone Biles, you got Simone Biles on your head, okay? But I'm saying us with the skills, we gotta work on that, and that's the brothers mostly, because it's the men who are natural leaders. It's in your nature, it's in your DNA to be a leader, so that you'll know, embarrassed of what? Embarrassed of the trauma that's just come through the generations, so that a lot of sisters, we don't even know why we flaxenate our hair anymore. And we don't have Becky first and foremost in our minds. We just have a sense of, yeah, but this is what's respected because we got the macro society in our heads. The only way we're going to do anything against that is we have to replace the lion narrative coming from the macro society of who we are. And so that I think a lot of brothers, it's not even that you're embarrassed about the weaves. It's that you don't like your own black hair either. Right? I'm so happy that Brother Malcolm X talked brothers out of walking around with the, like, oh, the fake hair, the conch thing. But I see them trying, this is slowly trying to get that back into you. But the resistance is still there. That's a beautiful thing. You would know if you saw that all over the place that we had been completely broken. But that's what happens with the sisters, because it's in our nature, as I said, to go, that's the champion I want because he can surely protect me. And unfortunately, it's been replaced by a predator mimic. And if you look up some of these species that are predator mimics, they will literally just inject themselves into their victim and take over their body. Dr. She had talked about the parasites that you'll get from eating toxic foods, and meat is one of the prime venues that will these parasites will come in. They literally take over your brain's ability to think, so that you are craving more sugars, more fats, more things that will feed the parasite. And so we have been taught to crave fakery that feeds the parasite. So they feel as if they're the most beautiful people on earth, so much so that they would lie about Pamela Anderson and Photoshop her image as if now that's natural. No, it's only if you don't notice it. If you don't notice it, if you don't look and delve deeper, so you know we ain't got a gosh dang thing to be embarrassed about. We're the most amazing people on the planet. I do not bother giving a goddamn about anything that any non-Black person has to say about who we are and what we are, because they're predators on our self-love. Nah, ain't happening. All right? All right. I said all I need to say, and this is under 20 minutes. Go over to 25,000yearcycle.org. Support your soldiers so we could keep on going. All right? I got one more video to do, so let me get out of here before it gets over 20 minutes. Mwah! I love you. Straight Black pride, and we own everything. Peace and blessings.